All right, welcome to Suite 301, coming to you live from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm Sandy Sanderson, and my co-host Christian Smith, joining you here to give you all the exciting action updates on what's going around the world of Cold Club sports. Don't forget to watch our broadcasts on our Suite 301 pages, as well as Facebook and YouTube.
And remember to like our Facebook pages and follow our Twitter accounts for all the latest news and media. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel for videos from around our leagues, and to watch previous episodes of Suite 301.
And, it's mid-April. I think last we talked to you, we just come back from spring training, a big, exciting month of March for baseball and softball. But now we get into April anarchy, as we're calling it, I think. At least I am. We'll see if it sticks. But we're getting into the tail end of club basketball season. We've had the regionals now. We're set for 2 national championships. And no one better to talk about club basketball than you, Christian.
Yeah, really exciting. We wrapped up regional tournaments, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, April 2nd and 3rd. A really exciting weekend of basketball, some upsets, some surprises. So I was really excited getting the scores from all across the country at our regional tournaments. And I would like to just dive right into those. Let's start with the men's side of things. We had 5 regional tournaments, first of which New England Regional, which was held up in Boston College at the Margo Connell Recreation Center. Bryant University, the champion there, defeating Boston College by 2 points in the championship game. We're going to have President Matthew Downer from Bryant University joining us in a little bit here to talk about that regional tournament. But Boston College, the number 1 team for probably the past 3 months, undefeated in conference and in overall play. We're obviously the favorites going into that, and obviously being on their home turf. But Bryant, the number 7 seed, the team that finished behind them in the standings, comes in and shocks the world and beats Boston College by 2 to claim the New England Region Championship and Bryant's inaugural year in the NCBBA. So quite a successful season for them.
So Bryant, number 7 seed, opens up that regional against number 2 UConn. You think UConn is a powerhouse in basketball. Gets that major upset right in round 1 and just got hot all the way through.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can carry that heat right into Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, this regional is full of teams, really good teams. I mean, even UConn, an unblemished conference record. And then Albany, their second round opponent, was a team that was undefeated in conference play. So they took down 2 top dogs, and then the biggest dog taking down Boston College. So really, really excited for Matt and those guys, especially it being their first year. So I'm excited to see how they play out in the national championship in Erie. So I know they're excited about it too. But that was a great one. Moving on to the South Atlantic Regional, which was held down at Furman University. You have East Carolina University taking that one. They're no stranger to the national championship. I believe a 2-time national champion. They defeated UNCW Wilmington, who also is a first-year team in the NCBBA. And those 2 teams are conference opponents in that South Atlantic North. So exciting game there. That was all played on a Saturday. Excited to see East Carolina, how they shape up. Again, they're a very successful program and should be making some noise out in Erie as well. Go ahead.
One of the things, if you're watching at home, you see this region only had 4 teams in it. One of the goals of the NCBBA as we grow and expand, our regions are done geographically. Some geographic regions only have enough teams to support a 4-team regional. But as we grow and expand, we want to get all our teams to be those 8-team regional playoffs like you saw in the New England.
Absolutely. Next, we got the North Atlantic Regional Tournament. Penn State University, a team that's been in the top 5 in the state, or excuse me, in the top 20 probably since the beginning of the year. Takes home the regional championship there. They were on home turf at the Nittany Valley Sports Center in State College. They defeated Syracuse University in that championship game. Syracuse, somewhat of a surprise to make it into that championship, taking down a really, really good TCNJ program in the first round, and then OSU Gray, which is another really, really good team. So they had a tough road and kept up with Penn State, which is a really tough program. But congratulations to the Nittany Lions. Excited to see how they compete out in Erie. Moving along to the Mid-Atlantic. Again, this was just a 4-teamer. Radford and Towson faced off in the championship game down in Charlottesville, Virginia. Towson coming out on top, defeating Radford in the championship game. Radford finishes runner-up in that tournament, but they were awarded an at-large bid, so they will be joining Towson in the national championship tournament. And I failed to mention, we were talking about the New England Regional Championship, Boston College, who was also, even though they finished as the runner-up in that regional, they were awarded an at-large bid, deservingly so. So last but not least, in the Great Lakes, we have Purdue, the number 1 overall seed, faced off against the number 2 seed in that region, Purdue Notre Dame. Purdue comes out on top in a really tight game. I was talking to Zach after that one. He said it was a really tight game. I believe they won by 10, but it was, or excuse me, by 8. But it was. He said it was actually a lot closer than the score shows. Notre Dame finishes runner-up, but they were also awarded an at-large bid. So excited about the field of 8 that we have going to Erie at the Highmark Event Center in Erie, PA, on the campus of Gannon University. Everybody I talk to that's either volunteering with our staff or even just teams in general, I'm just keep talking about how excited I am to watch these teams play. It should be a lot of fun, and we'll, like I said earlier, get to talk to Matthew Downer from Bryant University, the president of their program, to see how excited he is and what they think they can do when they get out there. So it should be a lot of fun. Really excited to get out there. Before we get on the phone with Matt, I believe we want to talk some top 20. Correct? Is that order?
Let's check out this new top 20. Just came out yesterday, right?
Came out on Thursday. This past Thursday. But not a big surprise. Purdue University, the number 1 team in the land after Boston College held that spot for quite a while. Boston College loses, falls to number 5 in the rankings. Purdue, a team that was, in those, I think, number 2 in the previous top 20 polls after their regional championship, they move into that top spot. But yeah, I mean, it's those, I think, top 8, or the teams that are participating in the national championship are in those top 8 spots. So it should be really exciting.
You see Purdue and Penn State there, 1 and 2, the only number 1 seeds going into their regionals that survived.
Yep, absolutely.
Came out as regional champions. So, hey, I'm excited about this new format we put in place this year. I love it. I'm pumped up about it. I'm excited to see the action on the court coming up next weekend.
Yes.
And so forth. So let's do we want to
we got Matt on the line.
Let's get Matt on from Bryant.
Matthew Downer, there he is. Matt, welcome to Suite 301. Thank you for joining us, and first and foremost, congratulations on your New England Region Championship and your berth to the NCBBA National Championship.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it, and thanks for congratulations on the regional championship as well. It was definitely an eventful weekend. We were happy to come out on top. We played some really tough teams, like you said earlier. So we're really excited for the national tournament in a few weeks.
Absolutely, man. And, this is your inaugural season in the NCBBA. And before we get into, the regional tournament and the national championship tournament, I want to talk to you a little bit about your team. Talk to us about it. How did the team get started? Is this the first year of existence for Bryant Club basketball? And if so, how did it get started? And what made you guys so successful?
Yeah, so we started a few years ago, actually, my freshman year. I'm a senior now. But Brian Brown was the president back then. He's also in our grade. He passed the club on to me. But we were a recreational club for 4 years or 3 years before this year. So we were kind of not recruited, but we got some guys we like to play with. We've been playing with each other for a while now. So we're kind of comfortable with each other. And then we felt like it was kind of a long time coming for us to be a official club sport and join this league, which we're really excited about for a long time. Talking to you and Alec and a bunch of other guys involved in the league. It's a really exciting time for us. We got a pretty tight knit group of guys that really just want to go to war every night and play as hard as we can. And like we saw in the regional, we can beat just about anybody. So.
Yeah, and what I think was awesome about the regional, you're in the same conference as BC. They beat you twice in conference play, so you go 0-2 against them during conference play. Did you learn anything from those games when you play them during the regular season? And if so, what kind of things did you take into that championship game to come out on top?
Yeah, for sure. So they're a really tough team, obviously, deservedly so, number one in the nation throughout most of the year, if not the whole year. But playing them at their place, those two games, I believe it was about a 6 and a 12-point defeat, those two games. We kind of just learned that we can play with just about anybody and that we don't have to be afraid of anybody, that we belong there in the conversation with some of the best teams in this league. And I think playing with confidence is key, especially in these high-pressure games where there's a bid to the national championship on the line, and we want to come out scared in the championship game. We wanted to come out strong and throw the first punch, if you will, and I think we stuck with them the whole game. We were lucky enough to come out on top. So really proud of the guys and how we battled throughout the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, I was, we didn't really have a staff member, NCBBA staff member on hand, so I was kind of relying on Kevin, the president of Boston College, to relay scores to me, but he was playing in the game, so I'm looking at my watch like, game should be over, and I was, no disrespect to you, Matthew, but expecting BC to come out on top, but I'm dying to figure out what the score is. And I was searching on Twitter, this, that, and the other, and I see I think Boston College had a Twitter account, and they had, Bryant up 2 points with 30 seconds left to go in the game, and the timestamp on the tweet was about 14 minutes ago, so I'm just literally refreshing my phone trying to get an update. But once I believe I reached out to you, Matt, and you finally gave me the score, and I was just thrilled for you guys, number one. But I remember you saying, we shocked the world, and that's absolutely appropriate. So I want to tip my hat again to you. I'm really proud of you guys and excited to see you guys compete in the national championship. And speaking of the national championship, you guys facing off against Towson. I'm assuming you guys don't know much about them, but do you have any game plan going into that, or is it just going to play your game?
No, yeah, so like you said, we don't really know much about them. Obviously, they're a great team because they made it this far. But we're just going to go in there and play our game like we've been doing all year long. Like I said earlier, we don't really get into too much about who the opponent is. We just try to play our hardest every single time we're on the floor. And like I said, we could go toe-to-toe with the best in the league. Like I said, we shocked the world. I don't think anyone really believed that we could go in there and beat BC that night. But I gathered the guys before the game and said, and no one in this gym really believes we can win besides us. So why not us? And that's going to be our mentality going in there as well, because I'm pretty sure no one's going to have us winning games, or not a lot of people, I should say, should have us winning games, and or not should, but will have us winning games in the national tournament. But we're just going to go in there with the same mindset. Some people, when we got back to campus that next week, call us the St. Peter's Peacocks, the club basketball
there you go.
scene. So
awesome.
We're kind of going to follow that mojo and go as far as we can.
Beautiful, man.
You think you're going to have any of the student body following you out to Erie for the games?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. There's definitely a bit of a buzz around campus around us. Definitely catches some people's eyes, our friends' eyes. I know we got a bus going out there for us, but we'll see if they do a fan bus or something like that. Obviously, that'd be really cool. But we're just so excited to go out there and compete.
Outstanding.
Beautiful, Matt. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll look forward to seeing you out in Erie shaking your hand, congratulating you in person. Fantastic year. It's been great working with you also. I mean, Matt's been a guy that, anytime, what I love from our end is when we have good communication, and Matt was awesome at communicating. Anytime I needed anything, he was quick to email me back. So I appreciate that. Congratulations again, Matt, and we will see you in a little over a week.
I appreciate it. Thanks for everything you guys do, and thanks for having me on. Really appreciate it. See you guys soon.
Right,
Absolutely. Take care. All right. Exciting stuff. Hey.
Yeah.
The Bryant Peacocks, right?
Yeah, there you go. Maybe that's what we should go with. Yeah, they're a team that, again, I don't mean disrespect, but I was not expecting them to take down BC, because I know BC is a very, very good team. They were playing on their home turf.
And already took two from them.
And already took two from them in the conference.
So yeah, exciting stuff. And let's see. You had mentioned they match up with Towson. Let's dive into that national championship bracket and really dissect, what our opening round matchups look like.
Yeah, so we got that 4 and 5. Bryant, the number 5 seed. So just so everybody's aware on how seeding works, the five regional winners were seeded 1 through 5 based off of top 20 pool, conference win percentage, overall win percentage, and total games played. Each of those factors took a 25% weight. That spit out our seeding for the top 5, and then the 3 at-large bids went through that same seeding process. So that's how we got the seeds. Bryant ends up the number 5 seed, and they're facing off against Towson team that is very good. I remember seeing Towson, I guess that would have been 2019 in a fall tournament. They were very good back then. And they kind of rolled through the Mid-Atlantic North Conference all year long, taking down some pretty good teams. So I think that's going to be a great matchup. I think the biggest matchup of the tournament is going to be that Penn State Notre Dame matchup. Number 2 versus number 7. Notre Dame, a really, really good team, went undefeated in conference play. Penn State's just a powerhouse. Just a big team. So I'm really looking forward to that game. I believe that tips off at 5 p.m. on Friday. That should be a good one. But, the East Carolina-Boston College matchup's going to be an awesome game. East Carolina picking up right where they left off.
Two-time
national champs. Played great in conference, and in Boston College, just a powerhouse this year. So that should be a great game. And then, Purdue and Radford, at Radford being an at-large bid, a new program to our league this year, facing off against the number 1 team in the country, number 1 team in the tournament. So we're going to be saying goodbye to 4 really, really, really good teams on Friday. But, that's the way it goes. But it should be very, very exciting. I think fans should know that we will have all the games broadcast, or we at least plan to. I don't want to lock ourselves into that, but our plan is to have a live video broadcast of all those games that you can tune into. So if you can't make it out, be sure to watch that feed. But certainly, if you can make it to Erie, please do.
Yeah, and the weekend just doesn't consist of these bracket games, right? 4 teams get eliminated on Friday, but then we've got some extra festivities coming on Saturday, right? Why don't you talk us through that? What goes on Saturday morning?
So Saturday morning we have the skills competition. So that's 4 categories, but we're doing 4 different events. We got the 3-point shooting competition, shooters chaos, which is different points for different shots. Whoever has the most points wins that. And then we have a obstacle course, and then finally we have a slam dunk competition. So we're gathering that information, or at least the participants for each of those events right now. We'll post that online once that becomes final, but that's at 12 o'clock on Saturday, and then that's followed by an all-star game. The 4 eliminated teams on Friday. We pick, I believe, around 5 guys from each of those 4 teams and make up 2 teams, and they compete against each other. We call it the all-star game, and that tips off at 2:30, and then we get into the semifinal games at 5 o'clock and 7:30 on Saturday night, and then Sunday morning we have a championship game and crown a national champion at, I believe, 1 o'clock on Sunday. So.
All right, full action pack of men's basketball championship action live not this weekend, following weekend from Gannon University in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Excuse me. Yes.
Any housekeeping items you want to discuss before we depart men's basketball conversation?
Absolutely. All-American, all-region All-American forms have been sent out to the teams. Those are been being sent in as we speak. Those are due April 15th. So if you're watching, an email was sent out. Please get those in. And also, along with that, make sure you have your stats up online. That's obviously, you need to just compare apples to apples when we're looking at different players. So when we make those selections. So make sure your stats are updated online as well. League participation agreements will be coming out within, hopefully, this week. And we just don't want to overwhelm. Lots going on. We don't want to overwhelm teams with a lot of information at once, so we're trying to spread some things out. So the league participation agreement and registration form will be coming out maybe this week or next week. And then lastly, we have the annual league meeting. We have an invitation for that going to be sent out for you guys, all the teams out there. That will be taking place, I believe, June 13th is the date on that, but don't quote me on that. But we want to get the invitation out to you guys as soon as possible so you can plan on that, because that is a really, really important meeting shaping the league moving into the future. So that'll take place in the middle of June, and like I said, we'll have an invitation out to you shortly. So be on the lookout for that.
All right, great stuff. Well, let's move on to women's basketball, who follows a very similar timeline.
Yes.
And let's bring Director of Women's Basketball Operations, Alec Verhoff, onto the show.
We have some bad news about Alec. He's got the fire alarm going off in his apartment, so he is unable to.
All right, we got a little technical difficulty. I guess technical is not even the right term. Fire alarm's going off in wherever Alec is trying to reach us from. So we are going to have to see if we can get him later. But let's just cruise right through some women's basketball stuff.
Okay. Let's get into
Let's go
their
right
top
into
20.
we're going to go into the regionals.
Okay.
Regional update.
Yes.
All right.
Let's do that. Let me.
So I guess let's start with the Pacific, because it's on the screen, right? Should make it
Beautiful.
easier for the viewers at home.
Yes, we had this is a best two-team regional. Again, with what Sandy mentioned, some regions were not able to. We don't have the membership out there to have an 8-team, or even in this case a 4-team regional. Our plan is to get to that at some point, but this was a 2-team regional event. We had number 1 San Jose State taking on number 2 Cal Poly. Cal Poly comes out on top in that regional tournament
After dropping the opening round game. So best of 3 series, basically, and Cal Poly recovers from that first round loss.
Absolutely. Moving on into the South Atlantic Regional Tournament, Kennesaw State taking that one down. Again, a best of 3. Kennesaw State taking on Coastal Carolina. They also dropped, I believe, the opening round game, and then came back to win those final 2 to earn their spot in the 2022 NCBBA Women's National Championship Tournament. So congratulations to Kennesaw State. In the Great Lakes Regional Tournament, Ohio State moves on to the National Championship Tournament after defeating Grand Valley State in the championship game. Ohio State, very good program. I got to see them play in the fall, so I'm excited to see how they do out in Erie, PA. Congratulations, Buckeyes. In the Mid-America region, we have SIUE moving on. Unfortunately, Iowa, who qualified for that event, was not able to make it to the event for unforeseen circumstances. So SIUE crowned the default regional champion and making their way out to the national championship tournament. So excited to see how they prepare and come out to play in Erie. Moving on to the Mid-Atlantic, we have Penn State moving on. I don't think a big surprise there. Penn State, a team that was number 1 in the polls for most of the year, if not all of it. They take down Montclair State, and that was a 2-teamer. So congratulations to the Nittany Lions. Really excited to see how they perform out in Erie. Moving on to the New England Regional Championship, Boston College, the men's and women's program earning berths into the national championship tournament. So the Eagles flying high in club basketball. So congratulations to Boston College women's basketball, specifically here, after they took down crosstown rival Northeastern in the championship game of that one. And then last but not least, in the North Atlantic Regional Tournament, we see Syracuse moving on after they defeated SUNY Cortland. Syracuse, the number 1 seed there, walking through that regional tournament and earning a berth into the national championship tournament. So our field of 8 is set. We did have to award at-large bids for this event, and we'll get into those at-large bids and bracket a little later into the program.
Well, let's dive right into the women's top 15 polls. Let's see how that shook out after regionals concluded.
Yep, and you got Penn State there. No surprise again, number 1 team I think basically all year, and after winning their regional tournament, stay atop the rankings. Followed by Boston College, Ohio State, Syracuse, SIUE, Kennesaw State, Northeastern, and I believe those 7 teams are moving on to the national championship tournament, and I believe the last is SUNY Cortland moving on. So yeah, that's the top 20. We'll have a final top 20 coming out after the national championship tournaments. So that should be exciting to see how those national championship games shake out the top 20 coming into the final one of the year.
All right. And we're going to be joined by guests from Boston College. Lily and Grace are tuning into the show. Let's bring them on board. There they are. The BC Eagles. How we doing, ladies?
Good. How are you?
We're doing good as well. Congratulations on a successful season thus far, but really, I'm sure with your competitive nature, it's not going to be successful till you get to the end of that road and hold that trophy up over your heads, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think we came out really strong. We did really well at regionals, but we're definitely in it to win it, and we're going to bring our A game to nationals in just a few weeks.
Outstanding.
Now you defeated. I want to talk to you. The Northeastern game, championship game. You guys defeated Northeastern in that game. I'm assuming you guys saw them quite a bit in during regular season play. Are they a rival of yours? I'm assuming.
Yeah, so we faced them 2 times previously in the season. We beat them both times. I guess it's a rivalry just because of the location to us. They definitely give us a good game. It's always pretty competitive. They always come out strong. So it's definitely good preparation for the national tournament, as I know I'm sure all the other teams will be coming out strong as well.
Absolutely. Now, talk to us a little bit about the BC program, your BC program. Like, what is your strong suit as a team? Like, are you good from 3? Is it your rebounding? What do you think is your strong suit that's made you successful?
We definitely think that we have a lot of good shooters on our team. We have a good amount of size, which is really helpful. But I think really just our team chemistry and the way that we are able to play together as a team and travel together as a team. We took on 10 girls this year after COVID year and a year of not playing. So we were a little bit nervous about how our team would kind of fall together, but we've been really happy and been really lucky to be able to form a really tight bond with these girls. And we know that really just carries us through games and brings us these wins.
Now, are you tight with the men's team? Obviously, the men's team got an at-large bid to the men's national championship tournament. Are you close with the men's team? Do you guys talk with them? Share different fundraising ideas? Do you guys communicate with the men's team at all?
Yeah, we definitely were in talks with the men's team, especially about planning this trip, just because we were both headed to Erie. So we tried booking flights together. I think we're gonna do a team dinner when we're out there, just some team bonding stuff. But we also throughout the season have just supported each other at our home games. Like we went to their game against Bryant. That was an awesome game. So it's been really fun to support them, and we're happy that they're going to be down in Erie with us.
Awesome. And I do know, I got an email the morning of regionals. I forget his name off the top of my head, but Kenny sent me an email. The lights weren't working at the facility, which was not a fun email to receive in the morning, but we were able to get things figured out. But did that have any impact on your play or any of your opponents' play?
So our team got lucky. We have a very new recreation center, so we used the top court.
That's right.
Windows on all sides, and so it worked out for the girls' games that we were able to use the brightest court on those wood courts. And the boys really, props to them for figuring it out, and especially because they had more teams than we did at regionals. But they used our rec courts on the first floor that did have lights working, and they just had a little bit more cramped than our usual wood courts, but they made it work, and it ran smoothly, and we were really honestly in awe of them for pulling that together last minute.
Yeah, and I appreciate the administration over there. There was one of those things where, like I said, it wasn't fun to wake up to, but they had a solution in place, and Kevin, the president of the men's team, was like, yep, don't worry about it. We'll get it taken care of. Won't have any issues. So I'm happy that all worked out. But congratulations to you girls. I'm really excited for you guys. Proud of you guys, and looking forward to see you compete in the Women's National Championship Tournament.
It's going to be a Boston College takeover of Erie, PA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully you ladies are bringing some fans, some parents, spectators out to watch. It's a great town to spend some time in. You'll enjoy it. And the action on the court is going to be first class. So we're going to put on a great show for you and make it fun. And hopefully with some success, you'll get to lift that trophy at the end of the weekend.
Yeah, that's definitely our goal. But thank you so much for having us, and we're so excited to come down to Erie and really compete with these teams.
All right. Well, safe travels. We'll see you very soon.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All righty. So as we wrap that up, we thank Lily and Grace from Boston College for joining us. But let's dive right into that women's championship bracket so that we can see how all the matchups, the full field of contenders are.
Yeah, so Boston College facing off against Cortland, an at-large bid, and as I talked about the seeding on the men's side, same thing goes for the women's side of things. Penn State, the number one team, taking on Northeastern, which that should be a really, really good game. I know Northeastern came up on the losing end against Boston College in the regional tournament, but I do know they had a successful year and are going to be a really competitive team and give Penn State a really good game. You see Boston College, SUNY Cortland in that 2-7 matchup. That should be a good game as well. So.
And for those of you at home that are wondering, why is the 1 seed playing the 7 seed? If you look at the seeding comes out mathematically, and then it gets adjusted because Northeastern was scheduled to play against Boston College, a conference regional opponent. We don't want that to happen. So Penn State and Boston College essentially trade opponents for the opening round so that no one's matching up against a conference rival at the national championship tournament.
Yeah, so should be another exciting one. We'll see how everything shakes out, but similar again to the men's, we have the skills competition Saturday morning followed by an all-star game at 2:30 p.m. and then the semifinal games Saturday night and then championship Sunday morning.
And you might get tired of hearing me say this, but I'm excited from the fact that this is the furthest into a women's basketball season we've ever gotten. When we started the league, that inaugural year, came out of the door swinging, all kinds of teams, all kinds of excitement, and then COVID shut us down. We didn't even get to have the regional playoffs. So we've gotten a step further than we did back in 2020, and now we got our foot on the gas. We've got 8 teams heading to Erie, Pennsylvania in literally 10 days. I can't wait to get up there. And while everything seems really exciting on the men's side, I'm going to be over at the women's side over at Mercyhurst University working that event staff. I'm excited to see how these ladies approach this game and see their competitive nature on the court.
Certainly. Should be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to it. So,
all right.
And same thing, housekeeping on the women's side that we talked about. All-American, all-region forms. Look out for the league meeting invitation and LPAs and reg forms for next year. So be on the lookout for those.
All right, great. Well, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to you in just a few seconds.
The Game is the official headwear sponsor for Cold Club Sports. They offer our team's quality headwear, such as hats, visors, boonies, and beanies for a great low price. All items are customizable to meet our team's needs. Contact Felicia.Battaglia at coldclubsports.com for all of your headwear needs.
Rawlings is the proud uniform, equipment, and ball sponsor of the National Club Baseball and Softball Associations. Teams receive up to 45% off on all their orders. For more information, including catalogs and price quotes, contact our front office today.
All right, welcome back to Suite 301. We're going to dive right into our baseball segment. We've concluded our basketball segment of this show, but let's dive into baseball. And we've got joined on set by Jimmy Henderson, Director of Division II Baseball Ops. Jimmy, welcome to Suite 301.
Thank you. I think we're diving right into top 20s.
Let's do it.
Hey, it's your world. We're living in it.
Yeah. All right, then. Leading off with the Division I top 20. This is a new poll from the last show with Virginia Tech still leading the way. But the two big jumps, Elon from 15 to 5, and then Cincinnati, who was previously unranked, moving up to 10.
Wow. Elon. I know Elon was, they were a team that, on my ballot at least, made a big jump.
Yep.
I know they're having a great regular season, so deservedly so, making that big jump.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's shocking to think about the Mid-Atlantic, and Elon's the favorite to win the Mid-Atlantic
Right now.
I guess Virginia. They got to get through Virginia Tech. I'm sorry.
That was kind of disrespectful.
Yeah.
Have they? Has
different
Elon
part of the Mid-Atlantic South?
Has Elon played East Carolina yet? Do you know?
I do not for sure, but I don't think so.
That's going to be the matchup.
Yeah.
Wow.
That'll be the matchup.
Yeah, they're in the same conference. Could very well be a regional matchup. I'm actually going to be doing that for Eric down in Charleston. So we were talking about that a little bit, to where Elon and East Carolina could both be there along with Virginia Tech.
Could be some unbelievable baseball.
Yeah, should be a good one to watch. But yeah, I think that
sprinkling Cincinnati from the West.
Right. I think it's either Cincinnati or Ohio State's going to be the fourth team that'll be down at that regional. So it should be a pretty good tournament.
Didn't Ohio U just take a couple from Ohio State?
I think one of three, maybe two of three.
I don't know.
Regardless, a lot of season left to play, and Mid-Atlantic should be fun coming down the stretch.
Should be a fun one. But yeah, I think that
you hear that, SOPAC? They're giving you no love over here. SOPAC's not getting any love. I think I got big aspirations for UCLA this year. Oh, sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
But yeah, I think that does it for the D1 poll. Moving on to Division II. This is the same poll that was on last Suite 301. So no big changes here. We'll have a new one coming up this week, be posted this Thursday. So be on the lookout for any new teams. And while we have it up, I want to shout out Grand Canyon got some love, even though they are not on the poll. They just played a series with San Diego, where you can see they're ranked number 4 at the moment. Took 2 of 3, and San Diego made sure to put in their weekly submission form that Grand Canyon should get some love, that they are a very good team. So accolades to them from an opponent that's highly ranked. So look out for them to make a jump in this week's poll that comes out.
Alrighty.
Boom.
Moving on to season updates and playoff teams. We have in Division I, the first team has clinched the University of Delaware in the North Atlantic East. So shout out to them for getting their playoff spot. At the Division II level, we have 7 that have clinched. Cal PA, of course, that has clinched since the last Suite 301. And we have 6 new teams as well that we want to read off here. Georgia College and State University for the Dixie Central. University of Florida and Dixie South, Creighton and Houston Downtown in the Great American region. Ohio State clinched the new Penn Central with a sweep of Toledo this weekend, and University of North Dakota clinched the Northern Plains East with a sweep of St. Thomas. So congratulations to you guys, and be on the lookout for regional playoff information coming to your emails.
All right, cool. Starting to come together. I mean, it's exciting. I just spent 3 weeks, as did you, focused on spring training. Then we dive into some, now the focus is on basketball, and then flip it back to baseball. So it's exciting time, and it's great to hear catching up, and now like the playoff picture is starting to slowly come together in baseball. Really gets to be an exciting time of year. What's next on the baseball side? Season now, playoff teams, housekeeping items. What do baseball teams need to be worried about right now?
Right now, the roster freeze, April 15th at midnight this coming Friday. That's a hard deadline, no exceptions. Anybody that is looking to get added to the roster for the rest of the way, it's got to be in by April 15th. After that, you're going with what you got as far as your roster is concerned.
All right.
And then other than that, just playoff pages, the regional and the World Series pages on both of our websites. Make sure to be looking at those for all information you could need.
Oh,
Long Ball Challenge.
Oh, the Long Ball Challenge.
Right. So yeah, the Home Run Derby, the Long Ball Challenge at the Division I World Series, it is open to all Division I and Division II players. So just because you're not playing in the World Series, if you would want to make the trip to Greenwood, just contact Eric Curator with any questions, and he'll make sure to get you all the information you need about that event. We'd love to definitely get some Division II guys in that.
Awesome. Yeah, and we've had a Division II winner before.
Longwood.
B.J. Harlow.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Sounds right?
Yeah, it does.
I didn't say it with much conviction.
Harlow.
But yeah, what an event that can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't wait for it to happen. Let's go. It's baseball. Baseball.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah, exciting time. Playoff spots are starting to fill up, and we're getting towards the end of the season.
Yeah,
all right.
And it's for April 12th. I mean,
yeah,
in a month, regional should be completed.
Yep.
I just had a meeting, an accounting meeting. We were talking about we're only 6 weeks away from the light switch.
What
light switch? 7 weeks from the light switch, the June 1st light switch.
Oh, okay. All right. Happy New Year.
Yeah, exactly. The ball drops. All right. I'm losing my mind here.
Yeah, you are.
All right. Jimmy, thanks for joining us on the show. We're going to slide over and welcome Lacey to the set and go through some NCSA softball updates because, they're right in the heart of they're on the, what do you call it, the goal line. You like that term. NCSA softball's on the goal line. Regionals coming up in just 2 short weeks, 10 short days. So we've got a big picture set up for the regional playoffs, but there's some more teams that still got a couple games left this week to punch their ticket. Talk us through it, Lacey.
Definitely. So to talk about the teams that already secured a spot and got the at-large bid, we can start with the North Atlantic. Sacred Heart Red, University of Delaware, Penn State, and Rutgers got the at-large bid. Congratulations to all of you guys. We'll be seeing you guys play at Danville, PA on April 23rd through the 24th. For the Great American, we have the University of Illinois, Cincinnati, and Michigan. And then there's no at-large bid yet, so that's still up for grabs for, teams still have to play. The New England Conference, we have UMass, University of Maine, Cornell, and St. Bonaventure. There's no at-large bid there because that's a 4-team conference. South Atlantic, we have Florida State, Georgia, NC State, and the at-large bid was Clemson. For the Great Lakes, we have Grand Valley and Notre Dame. There's still an at-large bid left for that conference. The Mid-Atlantic, we have James Madison, Virginia Tech, Pitt, and the at-large was Ohio. For the Mid-Atlantic, we have Mid-America, we have Arkansas State and Kansas. The at-large bid has not yet been picked yet. And then for the Pacific, we have Northern Arizona and University of Davis in Oregon. The at-large bid will be picked probably around week 32.
Okay. Now in the Mid-America, the West, there's no at-large bid because the West has not been decided yet, right?
Yeah.
We've got Air Force Academy, University of Colorado Boulder, and
Colorado Mesa.
Mesa. Mesa and Arizona. Mesa and Air Force still have a 3-game series yet to play this week, and there's a potential any one of those 3 teams could end up in first place depending on how the weekend goes.
Yeah.
So a lot of action out there. People are like, oh, pick the at-large. We're like, we don't even know who the conference winner is yet. We don't even know who the runner-up is yet. So we've got some more action to take place there, but exciting stuff. In the Great Lakes, we're waiting on did Wisconsin clinch there?
Yeah, we're just waiting for their signed bid paper to come in to confirm that.
Oh, okay. And then we're looking at, I know Purdue's in that region, that Great Lakes.
Bradley.
Purdue and Bradley got games this week that could influence the at-large bid selection process. In the Pacific,
We have Cal and Sacramento State.
Sacramento State's got some more games, and they're in the mix to potentially earn a large bid there. And then Great American, who were we looking at there? That was
The Great American, we were looking at Purdue and Bradley.
Oh, that's Purdue and Bradley.
Yep.
The Great Lakes we're looking at
Wisconsin.
No, Wisconsin's in. We're
Oh.
looking at Michigan State or possibly Xavier's in the mix here for something.
Xavier, yep.
Okay, cool. So more games to be played. Let's get that figured out as by the week's end, right? The end of the season is for everybody but the Pacific is Sunday night. So teams are playing Sunday being Easter. They're trying to get their games in before the end of the day Saturday. So we should have some scores. I know you've told me there's some games being played this Thursday, so there might be more updates coming out this week. And you're on top of Twitter and everything, so people will be able to find that out on social media. No problem, I'm sure.
Definitely, yeah.
All righty. So take us through housekeeping items.
So there's just one thing this month for housekeeping is we put the renewal LPA up on the website, so teams start renewing your LPAs for the upcoming 22-23 season.
And when do teams LPAs renewals? And that's for the new people out there, LPA stands for League Participation Agreement. That's what secures your spot in the league for next year moving forward. And it's important that get done because it requires 2 signatures, the officer and the administrator, the club sports director, your advisor, whoever that might be. Some teams will put that off to the last minute. They'll be like, I'll just go home and deal with it over the summer. It's often hard. When you're not on campus, it's often hard to go find that signature you need. So take care of it before you get home. Leave campus to go home for the summer. Get that signature, get that turned in, get it off your plate. So you've got your spot locked in. Because what happens, and this happens every year, someone's struggling at the end. They're diving around. We're getting into late August, and we don't have their paperwork in. Well, we're deciding how the conferences are going to lay out. We're going to move you over here. We're going to split this up. We're going to move this, rearrange this way. If your paperwork's not in, you're left out of those conversations. So you don't want to be left out. What about All-Americans? Is there an All-American nomination process coming up soon?
That's going to happen in a couple weeks, actually. I don't know the exact date, but I know that is definitely coming up pretty soon.
All right, good stuff. All right, well, exciting few days of softball coming up, and then we get into regionals right after Easter. All right, thank you very much, Lacey.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Last but not least,
NCFA.
NCFA, straight out of PA, all the way to Ohio. All right. Hey, National Club Football Association, we had our annual league meeting this past Wednesday. Very well attended. I think we were close to 100% attendance by all teams in the league, had a representative involved. And very successful. We talked about some good stuff. Guys were really excited about our new concept. We've got we've got 18 teams signed up right now to participate in the league. The conferences have been realigned. We've got 7 in the Great Lakes, 6 in the North Atlantic, 5 in the South Atlantic. We do have another team trying to join the South Atlantic. We have another team trying to join, claiming they want to join the Great Lakes. But as we mentioned just in the last segment, you don't get your LPA in on time, the conversations take place without you. So, but this is a new philosophy for us with football, where we're going to just 3 conferences, a little more stacked conferences. The travel is going to be a little bit more for these teams, but they're going to have more conference schedules, better conference opponents, and a better slate of games. But what they really liked about this is a conference. All the conference winners have a conference championship game, and those conference champions move on. But somebody gets a second chance at life. There's going to be that at-large bid And actually, I guess at large bid is not the decision here. It's a wild card.
Yes.
Because it is a formulated decision. There's no group that gets together and picks the team. It's going to be the top ranked team in the power rankings that isn't a conference champion. Will be the fourth team into that playoffs, and those playoffs will be held at a singular location, where we'll have a Saturday where we've got a game double game that day, 1-4, 2-3 matchups that'll determine who's going to meet in the 2 weekends later for the national title game. So everyone's real excited about this new format. I am as well. There's a lot of good stuff coming out of it. So other things that came up at this league meeting, we recalculated the center of the NCFA. Once again, it's northern West Virginia. It's basically, in the last 5 years, the center of the league has moved about 30 miles in various directions, depending on who drops and who adds. The big thing that came up at the league meeting that teams will be voting on is voting ballot procedures. There's a lot of concerns about authenticity of the votes, or how the teams are the ones who are casting votes, coaches and so forth, and they want a little more transparency in how people are voting, so that they, if you and I are battling for 1-2 in our conference, or battling for that potential wild card spot, I can't vote myself. If I vote myself number one and don't vote you at all, even though maybe you beat me, you can have an impact on some things there. So they want to just have transparency on how people have voted, so people can see if someone's being a little dishonest, throwing a little shade on the voting process, which the voting process impacts the power rankings. And there's been some talk about altering the power ranking formula, specifically changing the weight of the voters' opinion, and decreasing the weight of how many games you've played. So that'll all be on the ballot that's going to go out to the teams this week for them to vote on, and affect some rule changes. Conference schedules were released the day before the league meeting. So last week, all the conference schedules are out. You can check those out on the NCFA website. See your favorite matchups. Book your hotels. Figure out what road trips you're going to go on to catch your favorite NCFA teams this year. And last but not least, the housekeeping items. I mean, really, the teams need to be looking. As football's kind of, now that the meeting's behind us, things cool off with football for a while. Conference schedules are out for the teams, at least. We're going to dive more into that, where the playoffs going to be, where's the national championship going to be. That's kind of on our end. From the teams, all we need, make sure you cast your voting ballot from the league meeting regarding any changes that we're going to approve or deny based on your vote. And then non-conference schedules. As you add non-conference schedules to your schedule, make sure you're letting Dave Mogensen know so he can put them on the website. So there we go. We're going to have some, Dave's got some volunteer staff he's going to be announcing over the next month.
Great.
So we'll be doing some stuff on social media to introduce you to those characters that are going to be out there in the NCFA environment, helping us put the league on and making it great. Make the NCFA great again. We're getting those hats made and sold at the souvenir stand.
Good. Dave seems to be doing a great job out there. Doing right.
He is. I'll tell you what, he is. He's passionate about it, and to be honest, the teams are stretching him. He coaches arena football.
Yep.
So he was like, your on season is my off season, and vice versa. Well, the teams drug some things along where it sort of interrupted his season, and it's like he was at the ready, like, hey guys, this is when this was supposed to be taken care of in February. I shouldn't be dealing with it in April. But
the coach hat came on, started yelling at the guys.
Yeah, got to get them motivated. Hit your deadlines. Get those LPAs in when we say so we can move forward. But, yeah, he's doing a great job. Proud of him. Excited to have him on board, and wish him and the Iowa Barnstormers luck this season. I believe they're 2-1. Well, that was as of last week. I don't know what they did this week.
Awesome.
All right. Does that wrap it up for this show?
That's it.
All right. That's our show for this month. Thank you for tuning in, and be sure to tune in to the basketball championships next week. They'll be here you can find those on Suite 301 and Cold Club Sports Radio Network and all those good sites. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook, because if you don't, we're not going to tell you where to watch the basketball championship.
Our next episode is going to be April 26th at 3:01 p.m. right here on Facebook Live. At that point, we'll have 2 national champions in men's and women's basketball, and probably a lot of news, softball, baseball, all that. So make sure to tune into that episode. It should be an exciting one. And, yeah, join us then to catch up on everything that's going on around Call Club Sports.
Don't forget, it's a game.
Have fun.